Number 5. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was a notorious serial killer in the 1970s who was responsible for the rape and murder of several women in several states in the USA. Bundy's victims resembled his college girlfriend who broke up with him. He often raped his victims before beating them to death. It is unknown to the exact number of women Bundy killed, but he was connected to at least 36 murders. His charm and intelligence made him something of a celebrity. Bundy was killed by an electric chair in 1989. Number 4. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy is a US serial killer who was found guilty of killing 33 young males, burying most of them under his home. Gacy faced an abusive childhood due to his sexuality. His drunken father would often beat him and his siblings with a razor strap, as well as his mother. Gacy would then grow up to become a notorious serial killer. He would often lure his victims with the promise of construction work, and then capture and sexually assault his victims before strangling them with a rope. He would often commit these crimes whilst dressed up as Pogo the Clown. Gacy was found guilty of his crimes and was sentenced to death by lethal injection in 1980. Number 3. Andrea Chikatilo. Andrea Chikatilo was a former schoolteacher who was responsible for the murder of more than 50 young people in the Soviet Union. Chikatilo would often befriend young runaways of both sexes at train stations and bus stops and lure them into nearby forests, where he would then attack and rape them, and then mutilate them. In a number of cases, he ate the victims' sexual organs and removed the tips of their noses or tongues. In total, Chikatilo claimed the lives of 56 people and was sentenced to death by a shot to the back of the head in 1994. Number 2. Tommy Lynn Sells. Tommy Lynn Sells is an American serial killer who is accountable for at least 70 murders. He is considered one of the most dangerous offenders in Texas. His most notable murder involved the brutal killing of 13-year-old Katie Harris, who he stabbed 16 times while she was asleep at her home. Sells only left one survivor, and that was 10-year-old Crystal Shills, who was sleeping over at her friend's Katie Harris's house. Searles, who was sleeping on the top bunk on that horrifying night, witnessed her friend's throat being slit. He then reached over to Searles and cut her neck. Searles played dead in a pool of her blood until Sells had gone, and then ran to a neighbour's house for help. Tommy Lynn Sells was caught as a result, and was sentenced to death by lethal injection in 2014. Number 1. Pedro Alonso Lopez. Pedro Alonso Lopez, aka the Monster of the Andes, is a convicted Colombian serial killer who is estimated to have murdered more than 300 people. Lopez had a rough upbringing, growing up in a world of poverty and political violence. His father was murdered before he was born, and his mother kicked him out at the age of 8, forcing him to fend for himself in the streets. He was arrested in his mid-teens for stealing cars. He ended up serving time behind bars where he was brutally gang-raped. Lopez killed each of his assailants in retaliation, and was released in 1978. Following his release, it is estimated that Lopez killed at least 100 girls from various Indian tribes. Though it's impossible to predict how many lives Lopez took in total, it is predicted to be more than 300. In late 1980, Lopez was convicted of multiple counts of murder. In a strange twist, he was released from prison in Ecuador in the 1990s, and was sent back to Colombia. There he was confined to a psychiatric hospital, and in 1998 Lopez was released and his whereabouts are unknown to this day. We really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you want to find out about more evil serial killers, be sure to watch 10 Anything's video by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you.